It's also well known because of the legend that a spaceship crashed nearby in 1897, and the pilot killed in the crash was buried here. And the only caveat, of course, is the word legend. Okay, right up here under this oak tree is where the grave site is, but there's no marker, so I guess I'm one of the last people in the world to know precisely where the grave is. And now that you know, I guess you'll have to be killed. It was right here. Someone stole the marker back in 1973. We figured the government did it.
Jim's experience in Texas led him, he says, to compare notes with others across America, and he began to detect a pattern to the cover-ups. You were wondering how long it would take to get to the men in black? Well, here they come.
If someone has a UFO-connected experience, then sometimes they are visited by strange men in black suits who, number one, ask them, what exactly did you experience? And number two, tell them, if you know what's good for you, you won't talk about this.
Now, let's just get this story right. According to Mars and many others, there's been a worldwide conspiracy to cover up contact with aliens because governments don't want to reveal the technology they learned from these extraterrestrials. But does that make any sense? Wouldn't the governments or the oil companies just license this advanced technology and sell it? And anyway, if they wanted to cover up contact with aliens, you'd think they'd remember to take away that sign. But since all the people involved are long dead, there's no way we can ever know for sure if it really happened. What we really need to do is meet one of these men in black for ourselves. Well, guess what? We found someone who said he worked for a top-secret military organisation. And his job was to run part of the official cover-up. Funnily enough, he wanted to remain anonymous.
I was trained by the Central Intelligence Agency and the Defense Intelligence Agency. During my DIA career, I investigated unidentified flying object sightings throughout the southwestern part of the United States. We did conduct counterintelligence operations against people that were close to obtaining the truth about classified programs. Some might call the operations disinformation, but whatever you call it, it was a legitimate form of putting the wrong people away from the classified programs.
This alleged secret agent wouldn't tell us exactly why the military wanted to hide their contact with aliens, although there were dark hints of a military-alien alliance, and he was happy to admit he'd met many an alien in his time.
They're about 4 foot, and they have the classical large eyes. They come from a planet with apparently a very bright sun, so they have double eyelids, have no ears per se, just have an opening on each side of their head, same as nose, mouth, no teeth, simple internal organs, heart and lungs, basically the same organ, simple digestive system.
So there you go, a secret agent who positively wanted to be interviewed. He refused to give us any evidence to back up his claims, and we couldn't find any either. But if he did what he says he did, how does he sleep at night?
I don't have any problem with my conscience. No, everything I did in the government service, the disinformation in this area, was all legitimate.
These guys, they're unofficial. They don't exist within the official framework of our society. These agents charged with studying UFO phenomena and so forth. They're outside.
Okay, maybe Agent X is telling the truth and he's a man in black. If so, we've stumbled on a scoop. So when did the cover-up begin? Maybe aliens didn't first land in the 1940s, or even in the 1890s. Because maybe, just maybe, aliens have been here for a long time, and when we say a long time, we mean a very long time. They've been running the world since the year dot, and they've kept it very quiet indeed.
People want to laugh and say it's impossible. Well, please be my guest. I don't care. But if you're interested in what's happening in the world, this is a phenomenon that needs looking at, because there's something to look at.
So, we've had top-secret government committees investigating the presence of UFOs in our skies. We've had secret military operations to retrieve downed spaceships and their alien pilots. We've had sinister government agents terrorizing the public. But in terms of a conspiracy, this is just the tip of the alien iceberg.
I woke up, and mere inches in front of my face, there he was. And I was really freaked out.
This is a very rare opportunity we're looking at. Implants are rare.
Because according to some, the aliens have not only landed, they're actually running the world. What? Yes. Here's a man who believes it. David Icke. Icke regularly speaks to packed-out audiences, spooking them out with the full implications of his theory.
The power that these guys I'm going to talk about in detail today use to manipulate, control, and slaughter many of us, increasingly so, is only the power we give away every single day.
He hasn't always been a full-time conspiracy theorist. In fact, he started as a soccer player and sports commentator on the BBC.
Kenny Dalglish of Liverpool and Scotland.
But all along, something was troubling him.
When I was a kid, I had this feeling, I couldn't put words to it, I had this feeling I had something to do. And when I started being quite good at football and went into professional football, I thought that must be what it is. But there was something missing. I couldn't put words to it. I felt unfulfilled.
Icke looked at the world, and there was something wrong with it. At first he couldn't work out what it was, but something under the surface was amiss. International poverty? Global warming? The capitalist system? No, something deeper still. He became convinced that everything that was wrong with the world could be explained by one overarching idea, that a small ruthless elite had taken control of our planet. It's claimed it is made up of a highly secretive group of families who exercise absolute control over world politics and economics. Its name? The Illuminati.
Well, the name Illuminati comes from the phrase the illuminated ones, which is extremely appropriate because they are illuminated into knowledge that they keep from the rest of the people.
Icke was convinced that these families were no ordinary power-crazed tyrannical elite. Oh no. There was just one small detail which distinguished them from the rest of us.
What I've done is ask the next question, which is, where did the Illuminati come from, and who controls them? And you go back into thousands of years BC.